After all of the info we've gotten on Madden 24 so far and all of the time we've gotten to play the game early, I'm confident that these are 5 big things that Madden 24 does better than Madden 23. And number 1, right out of the gate, we have to talk about franchise mode. Franchise mode is the biggest update to Madden 24 by far. Now with franchise mode, this has been an area of the game that has been neglected over the last decade, but over the last few years they have been slowly starting to finally build it back out. But after it being neglected for so long, and then also last year with all of the unfortunate bugs that corrupted leagues, EA knows that they owed it to franchise mode fans to finally get this mode right. Now is it going to give you the same feeling as playing back on the PS2? No, probably not, but this mode is much closer to the golden age of franchise mode than any Madden we've seen in a long time. They finally brought back minicamp, which allows you to train and progress your players during the off season, and you can also use all of these mini games during your weekly focus training as well. But aside from even franchise mode, mini games in general were one of the things people loved the most about the PS2 era Maddens. Whether you use them in franchise mode or you just wanted to constantly try to beat your high score or play against friends at your house, mini games was one of those fun aspects that pretty much everybody loved, no matter what type of player you were. So these being back in the game in general is just a big plus for Madden moving forward. But that's just the beginning of franchise mode for Madden 24. Another big thing they did was they finally addressed trading. People have been asking for more trade slots for many years, and they have finally delivered it. Now there are 6 trade slots as opposed to just 3, so you can make much more creative trades, you can make much more realistic trades, and with this they've also added more future draft picks to use as well. They've also finally updated relocation by adding a bunch of more cities that you can relocate to. They've also redone all of the uniforms for all of the generic teams, and have also added alternate uniforms as well so that you can mix and match and make more uniform combinations. Now obviously we all want create a team back. That's the one super big thing that franchise mode is missing versus the PS2 days, and maybe one day we get it back, but at least for the meantime they finally refreshed the relocation a little bit. They've also added a ton of new commissioner tools so that you can set your leagues up how you want. You can change the difficulty settings for trades to make them really easy or make them really hard. You can now adjust the draft classes so that certain positions are stronger and certain positions are weaker, and you can change that year to year. You can also adjust progression and regression for players based on their position and their age, so that running backs, for example, can regress faster like they do in real life, but QBs can regress much slower. They've also added a ton of new draft class generators to give more generational talents, 99 overall prospects, injury prone players, and utility players that can play multiple positions like a Taysom Hill. They've also added more skill trees to the assistant coaches so that you can build out your staff more uniquely as well. And those are just some of the bigger things. There's a lot of other small things they did with franchise mode as well. So again, is it going to give you that same feeling as PS2? I guess it really depends on the type of player you are. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it's definitely without a doubt going to be better than Madden 23's franchise mode. And we just got to cross our fingers and hope for no major bugs, because if there's a bug that's corrupting leagues once again, well then unfortunately all the stuff I just mentioned isn't even going to matter. Now hey, if you're still here at this point of the video and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, you might as well go ahead and subscribe, because you're pretty much already a part of the family, whether you like it or not. You're still here at this point, so you're clearly rocking with the content. I would like to hit 1 million one day, and I need everybody's help, so I would greatly appreciate it. Number 2, career mode. As many of you know, career mode in Madden has been lacking as well for many years. We had superstar mode back in its heyday, and then for a while we kind of had nothing. Then the last few years we've had face of the franchise, which was a little bit better than having nothing, but it's never really been a mode that was quite good in my opinion. It was always very corny, the storylines were just not very fun, and it was just lacking a lot of substance. Now EA finally realized this, and they finally brought back superstar mode. And again, just like franchise mode, is it going to give you the exact same feeling as playing on PS2? No, probably not, because it's still not quite exactly like the PS2 superstar mode. You can't control any player, which to me is still one of the biggest things. It is limited to certain positions. However, they have made some changes that are much better, and it feels much more like a superstar mode than what face of the franchise was. And with NCAA football coming back next year, I do think they're going to continue to build out superstar mode, because obviously you need the NCAA career mode to seamlessly link with the Madden superstar mode. So I do believe they're going to make it all positions eventually, but for now it's still better than the version we had in Madden 23. They've brought back the combine, and they've done it properly this time. You've got the 40-yard dash, you've got the bench press, but they've even added some new elements like the shuttle drill, the broad jump. You've got some on-field workouts and some GM interviews, but this is probably the best combine that we've had in a Madden game, at least that I can remember, because even back on PS2 it was good, but there was only a couple things you could do. They've definitely added more to the combine this year, and I do think it's actually very fun. On top of that, you don't have any forced, corny, or cringy stories that you're forced to participate in that kind of lead you down a certain path. You do, however, have some cutscenes that come in when they make sense, but it's not leading you down some forced storyline where you have to go a certain route. They've also added player grading that gives you on-field feedback and feedback at the end of the game, similar to a NBA 2K's My Career. They also have tiered abilities, which is also similar to how it's done in NBA 2K, where you kind of can progress your abilities from bronze, silver, and gold, so you constantly have something to work for, unlocking better attributes for your player. The progression system is also really good as well, as it features no microtransactions, and there's always new stuff you can earn along the way, like abilities, ratings boosts, and equipment. Number 3, playbooks. Now let me begin this by saying I still think playbooks is an area that can significantly improve in Madden, and it's definitely not as good as it once was. Playbooks used to be really unique in this game, and they've constantly taken things away and made them more bland. However, if we're comparing Madden 23 versus Madden 24, they've done a much better job with playbooks this year. They've added a ton of new formations and a ton of new plays. They've changed pretty much every playbook in some way, and they've added a lot of unique formations and plays that are specific to certain teams' playbooks. So the Saints will have some more specific stuff for a guy like Taysom Hill, and the Eagles will have some specific stuff for a guy like Jalen Hurts, for example. And again, I want to say that they can still do so much more with this. I wouldn't say the playbooks are good or great, but they're definitely better in Madden 24 than in Madden 23. Now, will people online still gravitate towards the same meta stuff? Probably, but if you're a person that likes to experiment, use different things, try out different types of offenses, you're gonna have a lot of fun messing around with the playbooks in Madden 24 because it offers so much more things to try out than Madden 23 did. Number 4, mobile quarterbacks. Now, this could be good or bad, I guess, depending on who you ask, but the thing with mobile quarterbacks in Madden is it's kind of one of those things that more times than not, they've never gotten completely right. They've either been completely overpowered or they've just been not good enough. Now, previous years, we saw the mobile quarterback be way too overpowered, especially with the escape artist ability. Madden 22 was peak broken mobile quarterback, with the escape artist ability making it almost impossible to stop rollouts, and it was one of the most annoying gameplay years, especially for online players, because people learned how to spam the mobile quarterback with escape artist to the point where it just wasn't that fun to play. Then last year they removed escape artist and kind of made it to where mobile QBs just didn't feel that usable. Now in Madden 24, it feels like they may have found the right balance, unless somebody finds a way to break it, which is always possible, but it feels like they've found the right balance with mobile QBs. No escape artist, so it's nothing too overpowered, but the fast QBs feel fast again, but not fast in a way where they're completely unstoppable. But if you have a Lamar Jackson or a Kyler Murray, you can definitely get outside the pocket if the defense is not properly containing. You can now get back on the run again and make those throws on the run. Now again, depending on who you ask, this could be a horrible thing, but I think if the game is supposed to represent true football, mobile QBs are hard to stop and they get out of the pocket often and they are able to throw on the run. Last year, you were not able to do this quite as well as previous years, but in some of those previous years, you were able to do it just way too easily. So I think the balance is going to be a lot better with that in Madden 24, and it's something that they've definitely gotten better than Madden 23. Number 5, blocking. Now let me say, like I said with some of the other things in this video, blocking is one of those areas that I think still needs a lot of work in Madden. However, if we're comparing Madden 24 to Madden 23, they've definitely done a better job with the blocking, specifically in the run blocking. I don't really feel like the pass blocking is any better or different, so that's still kind of a negative, but in terms of run blocking and open field blocking, they've definitely done a ton of work. It was one of the main things they focused on with gameplay, which was good. Now I need them to start focusing more on the pass blocking, whether it be in an update or for next year's game. But if we're comparing 24 to 23, blocking as a whole, specifically more in the run blocking department, is definitely better, and I think you're going to find it easier to run the ball and abuse certain defenses because of how good the run blocking is in Madden 24. Now, if you want to know more about Madden 24's gameplay, make sure you check out this video right here on the screen.